Welcome to part 2 of how to create a magazine cover. Now, I did part 1 of this video almost 2 years ago. I know, I feel so embarrassed. I don't even know what happened, but clearly I got busy with other things. So let's do part 2. I'm not even sure if anyone's waiting for this video, but I still think magazines are a really great opportunity for you to get into, both as a graphic designer and 2 as an entrepreneur, because it is 1, an excellent way to retain people on your mailing list in a way that isn't just your typical, hey, read my email, which competes with 1,000 other people that are saying, read my email. 2, you can also advertise inside of there, both your programs as well as charging other people to advertise their programs inside of a magazine. It's just an easier thing to share. It's more fun to digest. And quite honestly, I think everybody's sick, and I know I am, of getting the monthly desktop wallpaper. I don't need another wallpaper. Stop sending me desktop wallpaper. I would like something interesting like a magazine. So anyways, that is today's tutorial, and you must have watched the first video, so I will leave a link in the cards or wherever it is to that video, as well as in the description below, because we're just gonna jump right into it like the last 2 years never happened. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Pretty Fabulous, and I help online businesses create beautiful digital downloads using Adobe InDesign. So if this sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday, and I do unboxings on Saturday. Now today is part 2 of how to create a magazine cover. I'm going to assume, 1, you watched video 1 and you have all of your things ready to go, your color, your text, your pictures. So we're just gonna jump right into it. So I'm gonna flip it and start sharing my screen. Here's the final product that we'll be creating together today. Now over here, you're going to go to File, New Document. And I'm going to go ahead and change it to 8.5 by 11 inches because I am going to assume that I'm going to email this and people will simply download it and print it out at home. So I don't need any margins. And even if I print this, publish this as an e-magazine through Issue, same thing. I don't need any margins or bleeds. If you are unfamiliar with Issue, I will leave a link to that below. It's a really great tutorial on how you can publish e-magazines and charge for them or have them printed. So really amazing service. All right, 2 things. You must have the latest version of Adobe InDesign to follow this or really any of my tutorials. I don't show how to use it from a version from 1905, and I don't show how to use this on a PC. So I do have a Mac. It should be very similar though, because I think just the shortcuts are different. Now this workspace that you see that I have here, if you go to Window and you go to Workspace, if you make sure Essentials is selected, yours should look very similar to mine. So over here on the left, you're going to select the Type tool, and I'm just going to eyeball it. I know that the name of the magazine should go here at the top, and that's what I want to create first. So it's going to be Pretty Fabulous, and I'm going to change the font. So to change the font, I can either highlight that entire text, or I can highlight the text box and then select the Type tool. Either one will work. I'm going to change mine to Dido. This is a premium font, so you may not have that. And I'm going to change it to 77. And over here at the top right, I'm going to center this. Now I want to change the color. So over here at the fill, I'm going to change it to T for formatting the text. And I'm going to select pink. So now it is pink. So I don't actually like seeing this text box. I know it won't show up in the final product, but I'm going to go to View, Overprint Preview, so I don't have to see that. Now I'm going to add my tagline, so I'm going to select the Type tool again and just draw a text box anywhere because I know I can move it, and I'm going to type in your Adobe InDesign BFF. And again, I can select all of this text, or I can select the text box and then select the Type tool to change the font. And I'm going to change this to Nutraface Text Book, and I'm going to make this a size 20. And again, I want to change the color over here, so I'm going to select the type and change it to pink. Now, Nutraface Text is a pretty expensive font. I believe I'm going to say $350 to purchase. So if you don't have it, there are many other fonts like Arial or Lato that look very similar, if not exactly the same. So you don't need this exact one. And in fact, I'm going to change this text from book to light, so it's nice and thin. All right, now that this is all here, I am going to add my main picture. So I'm going to do File, Place. Whoops. File, Place. And I know that I want this picture right here. So I'm just going to say Open. And now I have what's called a loaded cursor. So I'm going to drag and drop where I want this picture to be. So I obviously just want it to be on the main page, but hold on, I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to zoom out, and to zoom out, I just hold the Command key and the dash. I need to move this over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from the selection tool over to the direct selection. So that's going to select just this image. So to move it over, all I have to do is move it like that. Now, obviously it's a little too small, so I'm going to grab this corner. I'm going to hold the Shift key. So the Shift key will help keep the proportions. Otherwise, if I move this without holding the Shift key, it just makes me really out of proportion. So I'm going to hold the Shift key. Whoops. And I'm going to make myself bigger. So I'm going to have to eyeball. I'm going to have to zoom in a little. So two things I need to change. One, I'm going to change the selection tool back, and I am going to make this box so it's even with that 8.5 by 11. So I really don't need any of that extra space, and it's not going to show up anyway. So another way to move items without using the direct selection tool is you can just hold or wait till the little hand appears, and then you can move the image there and you'll see it turns red. So when the box is blue, like this, whoops, that means I'm moving the whole box. But when the box is red, like this, I'm only moving the image inside of that box. And again, these are kind of basic Adobe InDesign things, and if you're not familiar with them, I would strongly suggest taking my free 5-day course, Adobe InDesign 101. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure the selection tool is selected, and I'm going to go ahead, right click on that blue box, arrange, and select send to back. So now it's in the back. I think this is about, let's open this a little bit more. This is about where the original was. Yeah. So I feel pretty good about this. So we're just going to leave this like this. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is you'll notice that this background is a little bit more opaque so that the text would show up. So I'm going to select this image again. And then over here at the top right, I'm just going to change this opacity down to say about 56. There we go. Now I am just going to start adding text. So nothing really hard about that. So again, I'm going to go to the type tool over here. I'm going to just draw a big text box because I'm just going to guesstimate. And again, you can just move it later. How to win at selling planners on Etsy. Read this before even thinking about posting one more item to your Etsy shop. All right, again, I'm going to change this font. So I want this one to be my thin Nutriface, and I'm going to make this light, and I'm going to make this about a 25. All right, so over here, I want this to stand out, this how to win at selling. So I'm going to make this one a different font. I'm going to choose Gotham Medium, and I'm going to make it a size 40. Now I want all of this, so I'm going to do select all. I want all of this to be green. So here at that type tool at the top, I'm going to make sure the T is selected for formatting, and I'm just going to choose green. And now all of my text is green. So I'm going to line this up so maybe it's a little over here. So it's not right in my face. So it kind of frames my body right there. Now down below that, or let's go to the right. Let's go ahead and just do another easy text one. I'm going to make another text box. Again, I'm just going to guess because I can move this wherever I want. And I'm going to say, which is better? And I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to change this font to the Think Pink font. And I'm going to make that a size 55. And I want to change this color to, let's say, a dark blue. So I'm going to move it up here. And that looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and make that smaller. Now I need another text box underneath it that says, weekly or daily layouts. And all of this, I want to make this again a different font. So I'm going to do the Gotham medium, and I am going to make that a 20. And let's say, actually I lie, I'm going to make that Gotham light, and I'm going to make this one, the word layouts, I'm going to just highlight that. I'm going to make that a Gotham medium. And I'm going to change that to 43. So all of this is going to be centered like that. So I'm going to just eyeball this again and just kind of put it right underneath there. And I want to change this text to be blue, that dark blue. So I'm going to select that over here. And I'm done with that. And then next I don't know what, this looks weird. Oh, I know. I am going to change this to a NutriFace text, actually. Just the word layouts. And that 43. Is that the right font? Let's just double check. Nope, it was Gotham Light 43. That's what I did wrong. Gotham Light 43. There we go. All right, so next we are going to do that big circle over here, which is the 10. So really easy. All you're going to do is go down here to the polygon tool, right click it, and instead I'm going to turn that into the ellipse tool. So I'm going to hold down the shift key because then it will make a, I guess is the word concentric? Just a even circle, so it'll be even all the way around 360 degrees. And I want to change the fill color to purple. Now you'll notice there is no purple. I can just make one really easy. I can take that pink and I can hit the new swatch button down here, double click that. I'm going to change that over to RGB, CMYK. It doesn't really matter since we're not going to a printer. And I'm just going to drag this till it looks kind of purple. That looks good enough to me. So I'm going to say okay, and then the border around it, I am going to change, I'm going to change the color to white. All right, so next I just need a text box to write the number 10. So the number 10, I'm going to make that a Gotham medium, so it's nice and thick, and I'm going to make that a size 100. And I want that text to be white. So I'm simply going to drag and drop it over here on top and eyeball that for the center. Whoops, I didn't mean to select that. Select the 10, just using the arrow buttons. That looks about right. So next underneath that, I need a text box. So I'm going to select that type tool again, draw a text box, and this time I want it right justified. And I'm going to say incredible weekly layouts that will make, oops, it's so small I can't see it, will make your planner stand out. All right, I am first just going to make all of this bigger because it's so small it's hard to see. I'm going to make all of this a 30. I am going to change this all to, let's say, Gotham Light. And I want this part to stand out, so I'm going to make that Gotham medium, and I'm going to make that a 40. And let's see, so I can't see some of my text box. All I have to do is hover over that middle text box and drag it down so I can see it. And then I'm going to select stand out because I want that to stand out, and I'm going to make it Gotham medium, and I'm also going to change that to a size 40. Now I want all of this to be purple, so I'm going to select all of that just to Control or Command A, and then over at the type tool I am going to drop down and make it purple. So now it matches that circle. So I'm a little close to the bottom, so what I'm going to do is hold the shift key, select all of these, and just move all of them manually up. Now I kind of want them to be aligned on the right side, so what I'm going to do is use the type tool, change this to be right justified, and then I'm going to hover my cursor over here on the ruler, click with my left mouse and drag over, you'll see it's just a guide and let go where I want it. So I just need to manually move this text. I'm just going to nudge it over, select that text box, and move it all to the left. I'm going to move this. I'm going to select the circle and the number, and I'm going to move that to the left. So now everything's kind of aligned up to that blue imaginary guide. Don't worry, when your final product is done, you won't see it. So if you have the selection tool selected and you hit W, it'll take that away so you can see kind of like almost like a print preview. All right, one last thing we just need to add, which is issue 1 Premier Edition, which is this pink thing at the bottom. So all we're going to do is go over to that tool again, right click it, select the polygon tool, and I'm going to hold my shift key so everything is in proportion, drop it down there. Again, I want it to be pink and I want the border to be white. And all I have to do now is select the type tool and add some text. So my text is going to say issue 1 Premier Edition. So I'm going to center this text actually, and I'm going to change this all to a Gotham medium at about maybe say a 30, but I want that top line to be very thin. So I'm going to make that Gotham light, and I'm going to make this a 28. And I'm going to move it so it kind of all fits inside of here. And I want this text, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make sure the type tool is selected and that box of text is selected. And then I'm going to go up here, choose the type formatting, and I'm going to change this to white. So this box right here is a little too small, so I'm just going to hold the shift key and drag out one of the corners, and it'll make it a little bigger for me, and I'm going to move it here. And then I'm going to select that text box and just move it up. And I'm kind of done. I might want to make that a little smaller, a little bigger, smaller. There we go. So you can just kind of play with it until you get the size you want. So here's our final product. Here was our original, and they're pretty much the same. So it's really just that easy to make your own magazine layouts. Remember, if you want the directions for this, they are down below. All right, if you would like more tutorials on things that you can create in Adobe InDesign, which is pretty much everything, leave me some suggestions below. I am really into doing tutorials. I think I did a lot of business stuff for a while, and I'm just trying to get back into doing more tutorials for you. So let me know what questions you have, and we will make it a video. All right, if you would like to learn Adobe InDesign, I do have a free 5-day course, InDesign 101, and it will walk you through all the basics and not like the boring, lame stuff like how to set up your workspace, how to change your preferences. Who cares about that? It will basically walk you through how to change your text, how to pick out fonts, how to do colors, how to place images, all the things so you can get rocking and rolling with Adobe InDesign right away and start editing templates. So I will leave a link to that course below, and I hope everyone's having a fabulous day, and I will see you guys next week.